Welcome back, and thank you for joining us. We're live and direct with Tim and Jonathan, and there's been a lot happening. What's been going on, Tim?
So I've taken Deir Azor last night. That was pretty easy. I just sent a stack of 8 straight in there, and then this afternoon just went over to Arakar. So I've left 2 infantry in each of those cities, and I've now sent my recon back down south. And I'm probably going to move through Saudi next. Move to his capital, Riyadh.
Yeah, I was going to suggest we do that one next because he's quite active, and I don't know if you've noticed or if you're aware, but he's actually come quite close to me. So can you see Beirut, which is to the left of Damascus? He's going right up there, and that's a bit too close for comfort. But I am at peace with him. Where does it say? Shows you on the mobile app that we're at peace, or we were when I last looked. Okay, so we've cracked into Syria. I've cracked down Aleppo, and then Shatar, and then Damascus. So 1, 2, 3. I've taken a bit of a hit on the way down, actually. So I've got a barely alive combat recon, 3.3 health out of 17, and then a total of 3 troops that survived, and I started off with 6. So I've lost 3 troops, but then equally each of my cities has given me a gift, and they've spat out a troop each that they've built. So building up troops on the cities that I've taken over, Aleppo and Shatar. They were empty, but now I'm stacking troops on them because you've got to do that, otherwise they go rogue and like an army pops up and it attacks you. I'm going after Transcaucasia with four motorized and a combat recon, and actually they'll be there in 4 minutes, so we're going to see that live and direct on this episode for you guys. I rushed them just for you, and we're going to be going up against 2 motorized infantry, and my plane is just about to join the attack as well. Doesn't have much attack, 2 against troops, 1.5 against armoured vehicles, so we've got 2 attack from the plane coming in, and then a big old load from this stack, and hopefully they'll be alright. And then, how's it been going with you, Jonathan?
Pretty good, yeah. So the first thing I did was go to war with Libya, and I've moved in and taken As-Sadir from him in the north, and I've also claimed this victory site, and that skyrocketed my fuel up to 113 an hour. So I'm going to have a surplus of that. So if any of you need fuel, take some off my hands, and I could do with the money, really. But now I'm moving in on the Bazayama complex. That's a tough one to pronounce. That will give me a boost to my supplies as well. And there's something interesting that's happening southwest of me. Do you see where Cameroon is?
Cameroon, yep.
Yep. So he's pushed all the way up through the remnants of Chad and Central African Republic. And you'll see there wasn't much of them left in the first place because we've got these dead zones. Presumably they're a product of global warming, completely uninhabitable areas. You can't move troops through them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you can fly troops over them either. But there's this narrow corridor that we've got through what is remaining of Chad, and he's pushed all the way up, and he's now sitting on the border of Sudan. I've got to consider what his next moves are. I've got a suspicion that he's just gone straight forward to try and claim the victory site. But about 5 hours ago, he did just stop outside Sudan. So that makes me think he's waiting for more reinforcements before he makes his move.
Yeah, maybe he took a bit of a hit on the way and thought, I probably need a bit more before I keep going. What's that? So he's left...
Quite possibly.
He's left one of Chad's cities.
He's left 2, and I think that's because he didn't want to leave his troops there to stop them going rogue. And it's quite a clever tactic because he can come back to them later and claim them. And if you look at one of Chad's cities, I don't know how to pronounce that. But the top one, it doesn't actually provide any resources. It just provides a cash boost. And same with the one in the Central African Republic. So there isn't much incentive to get that because you get a cash boost from provinces anyway.
Yeah.
So to me, it makes sense what he's done, but I've never considered doing that before.
Oh, that's interesting. And also, as well as the activity from Saudi Arabia coming right up and around me, if we have a look on their cities, he's actually pretty much nearly built an army base level 2. That tells me that I think he's going to start building armoured fighting vehicles, the Sheridan tank. So that's dangerous. Once he starts bashing them out, we're in trouble, because if you have a look at their stats, they've got 8 attack against troops and 5 against armoured vehicles. So we've got to be pretty wary of that, because we've mainly got infantry between me and Tim. So we're going to crack into them. These guys on the end, if we have a look at Oman, who are next to Saudi Arabia, they've been building as well. And so we're just having a look at who's active and who's not. They're in the process of building a level 2 army base. Arms Industries, so they're a very active player as well. But yeah, and I think they're actually cracking into Saudi Arabia, so that's only going to help us. Okay.
I can't help but notice that whilst Saudi is building a level 2 army base, he hasn't built an arms industry. And you do need an arms industry before you can build an armoured fighting vehicle. So it's safe to say that you won't have that.
Same with Mecca, he's building a level 3 naval base there.
There's absolutely no way he can have a destroyer at this stage.
It's got a level 2
it's even unlocked.
Base,
yeah, it is unlocked, but it's 2,500 components. So if he's building a destroyer, he would have spent nothing on building any other troops.
Looks like he's a bit clueless, actually. Yeah, he's built 2 level 2 army bases. You probably only need 1 at this stage in the game. Level 2 air base, probably don't need that quite yet, do you? What do you need for
a level 2 air base? Yeah, I'm actually building one because...
Oh, you do? Strike fighter.
I will be able to start building airborne troops shortly, and they're going to be really useful in helping me take land and outmaneuvering enemies in certain battles. But you may see more of that situation later. But I think it's good to get an airborne out fairly soon, so that's why I'm making the level 2 air base. And also, if you want strike fighters, you'll need a level 2 air base.
Yeah, definitely want strike fighters. Speaking of which, my air superiority fighters just attacked, what are they called again? Transcaucasia, and also my troops have gone into battle. They've taken a small hit, and we've taken about half the health off both of their troops. They're down to 16 out of 30. So and the next attack is in 58 minutes, so it's hourly, and that's going to take probably 2 more attacks, I'd say. A couple of hours I'll have that. And the reason I've gone for that city, Jonathan, and it's called Kulo, it's the purple player to my northeast, Transcaucasia. It's a rare materials city, and I just want to stack up on my rare materials where I can. So I might just sit on that and send reinforcements to go for the rest of them. And I'm quite keen to go down into Saudi Arabia and go for their rare materials city. I don't know how Tim feels about that, if you want to fight me for that one or not.
Yeah, you can go for it. I could probably just maybe move around. Where's the rare materials one? Yeah, that one's closest to you. You might as well go for that.
Yeah.
I can go around like the east side maybe.
Yeah, that sounds good. Riyadh.
Sort of take a side each. Yeah.
Sure. I think we could quite safely leave Iran for a little while. The big green player to our right, because it doesn't look like it's very active. So built nothing in Tabriz, built nothing in Tehran. You get an airbase in your capital anyway. He's not built anything in any of his cities.
Yeah, probably best to just pick off these active players first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, if you see to my west, the red player, it's... Oh, God, okay, they've been busy. So, Greater Serbia, they've come right up to my border now, and they've taken over Bulgaria. Okay, I'm going to have to send a lot more reinforcements that way. It looks like he's left me alone for now. He's cut across my border and then gone up to take the rest of Bulgaria. So, it looks like he's leaving me alone for now, but... he's very active indeed. He's taken a lot of land. He's not. Has he built anything in Sofia? Hasn't built anything in Sofia, but I think he's taken that from Bulgaria. Hasn't built anything. How strange! He hasn't built anything in any of his cities, so that's fine. He's a very aggressive early out player, but he's not built any infrastructure, so I think I'm going to be all right there. I was a bit worried for a while, and I don't think Greece is doing much either. But I don't know if you've checked out the general situation in the world. Poland is very aggressive. They've taken over Chechnya already, and they're cracking into Germany. And Germany, they were cracking into France, so their defence is all on the wrong side. They weren't expecting an attack from Poland. There's all sorts going on, so we've got some really active players in this game, so it's going to be really good later on in the game for us to clash up against. And they'll certainly emerge.
Oh, look at you. You're in first place with 10 cities.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim, you're in second place.
Cool. There we go. Cities. There we go. Yeah, 10 cities. Raptor guy too. He must be a fan of maybe the famous Raptoria. Tim in third. Yeah. I'm sure you'll join the leaders list before long, Jonathan. But yeah, you've got a worrying situation down there with your Cameroonian. Gonna have to be very careful.
It's not just that. I've got to consider what Sudan is going to do, and if Libya is going to push back at all. So I don't want to move too far away from my home cities just now. But I may just wait to see what move Cameroon makes first, because he'll either need to push towards land I'm about to take, or he'll need to go through Sudan.
Yeah, you're going to have to play a very careful game because you've got a huge red target on your head now with that victory site.
And it gives me 501 victory points just for owning that. So it's a lot, and the scores update at midnight, and when they do, I'll actually have the most victory points in the game because I've taken this site.
Cool.
Unless anyone else has taken one or more.
And the game time is showing us 8:42. So when that hits midnight, our victory points update, we've got 215 at the moment, but that's certainly going to be way higher. The time in the UK is actually 7:49 in the evening. And we'll put this episode up as soon as we've finished. It'll go up a bit quicker actually because I don't have to edit. I've found a shortcut key on OBS. It's the recording software I use, so I don't have to trim it when I put it up and wait a couple of hours. So that's going to come at you live and direct. And how's this attack going? Yeah, I'm going to secure that rare material city. It looks like all these cities that have a dome above them have the word complex after their city name, so that's interesting. And I'm just bringing my troops in. I'll show you, these are all new troops, so there's one guy sitting on Shatar, and then another one coming in from the sea. So we'll have two on there. We've got one on there already, and then this guy's land grabbing the very last of Syria's land before going in to join our other guy, and then this one is going through to just add a bit more support. But if I click on my cities, they were empty for so long, even if they've got one guy on them, they've still got 48% chance of insurgency, if you can see there in that box that's popped up. And what's the chance of insurgency here? 48%. It's a bit different to the vanilla game.
Well, I can tell you why. In the first couple of days, the insurgency chance is much higher. I think it's to make sure that you're introduced to the Chosen or Rogue State in the other game. So after you take a few cities, you're pretty much guaranteed that one of them is going to go rogue, and from that point onwards, you're at war with them, and that changes a few things too.
Okay, that sounds interesting then. Very interesting. Yeah, because in the vanilla game, you just need to stick one troop on a city, and that pretty much does the job. But we're going twos up on this one, aren't we?
Mm. Yeah,
Okay.
they're stronger, and your troops at level 1 might not be able to fend off an attack from them.
Ouch. Okay. Well, I'm feeling a bit better about my situation. I think we've got this under control. Definitely go for Saudi Arabia next, and then maybe into Oman, because they are active. Yemen are being totally attacked by Saudi Arabia, which is very, very good news for us, Tim, because he's burning himself out on them. They're fighting each other, and he's going to be weakening his troops. But he will have built probably at least one round of troops. Not in all his cities, though. He's only got barracks in 3 of his cities. 4.
Yeah, just
3. Yeah, barracks in 3 of his cities. So he's not going to have he's not going to have as big an army as us, and because we're both cracking into him, really, once you've got the momentum behind you, there's not a lot you can do if two players are attacking one player, unless you get superior tactics, which I don't think he's going to have. I might be wrong.
Judging by the arms industry situation, I doubt it.
Yeah. Okay, looking good. And I think as well that Oman has been cracking into Saudi Arabia, and I know you have as well. I mean, Saudi's a little bit in the middle of things, but he may be pushing troops towards Oman as well. Might just be trying to fight on all fronts, which is just going to weaken him immensely. I'm fighting on 2 fronts, so I've got this front here in Syria, and then into Saudi Arabia, and then up here going into Transcaucasia. I'm learning it. It's a bit of a mouthful. So it'd be nice to get that city and get some more rare materials. I'll tell you what I want to research next. And that's the strike fighter. I'm saving up. It's 1,800 rare materials. It's going to be available for research on day 3, which is going to be in about 2 or 3 hours, when this time in the game hits midnight. So what are we on? 8, 9 o'clock, 10, 11, 12, 3 hours, 13 minutes. I want to be starting to research Strike Fighter, but I won't have enough rare materials, so I'll probably have to wait until the morning for that. What are you going for next?
Nearly finished researching some airborne, and then I think I'm going to go for corvettes. Quite a few of my cities are adjacent to the water, so I need some way of defending myself. Apart from that, I might go for some mobile radars to get some vision when I'm attacking countries, and possibly the elite submarines.
Oh, very nice. I didn't tell you, I've started building an infantry officer. My first time.
Oh,
yeah. I think we all are.
28%. Nice.
I've got 15 hours until he's built, and then he's going to give my entire stack a 15% buff, isn't he? On level 1, you can level him up. But yeah, he's pretty expensive, so I spent a fair bit of money on him. So hopefully he'll be good.
Did you give him a name?
Not yet. Can you give him a name right now? No, you got to wait until he's built, don't you?
It's usually when you start building him, you give him a name. So
okay.
It'll just be an unnamed officer.
Okay. Oh well, he can be the unknown soldier. That's fine. That's all good. I see what you mean by manpower, Tim. I've totally ran out of manpower. And I can't build anything, any more troops at all, which I would like to. So basic infantry, 850 manpower. I've got 345. You can't buy it in the shop. But I did listen to what you said in the first episode, and I did build recruiting stations on pretty much all of my cities. I have increased the production. So we're on 116 an hour. Have you guys run out?
That's higher than me. No, I've not run out.
But actually,
it's building the officer that really uses a lot. I think it's 3,000 nearly, isn't it, for the officer? So.
Oh, that must be what did it. Yes, 2,800. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a big one. Can you have two officers?
Just one of each.
Only let you have one. Yeah.
And also, building the basic motorized infantry takes 850 manpower, but the combat recon vehicle is only 400.
Okay.
True.
That's another thing to consider. It's more than twice as much, and only slightly more components and supplies. So I'm definitely
Yeah.
have the combat recon. What have you been building in your cities?
I did all troops.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 troops I got about 3 or 4 hours ago. Well, 4 or 5 hours ago, and sending them all down to Syria really, and then I bumped one into Istanbul in the northwest just to boost that. But I do need to go through a round of combat recons. Yeah, good point. So I can put them in the queue. I bought the membership. So it just means you can queue things, security council membership. You can queue things, and you can set rally points. It's a small advantage, but it doesn't change the world.
Which makes life a lot easier, really. I've set the rally point to my southwest home city, Karga, so all my troops are just going to naturally congregate on the front line. I feel like if anybody tries to take my cities from anywhere in Africa, that's where they're going to go first.
Let's have a look. Karga.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will. And that's right near your victory point. I mean, are you tempted to build... Okay, you are building underground bunkers, and that's where your infantry officers being made. Okay, that's going to be nice.
And the underground bunkers, for anyone who doesn't know, they boost the morale in a city. They help to protect the population. Do they help with population growth too, or is that the hospital?
No population growth.
Okay.
They take 33%.
But morale is very important because it determines how quickly you can build your troops.
Yeah. And recruiting stations, they help you build your troops quicker as well. So we've got one of those in each city. So where I can tell you how much by as well, it's 10%. But say for example, your troops took like, I don't know, 20 hours and a bit or whatever it was. They're now showing up as 17. That's a bit more than 10%, isn't it? Let's have a look at the stat. Mobilization speed plus 10%, manpower generation plus 5%, and then you get a flat resource bonus of plus 200 manpower when you build one, and it's just cash money to upkeep them. So that's cool. Well, I think we've made a really good start. How are you feeling about this game?
Yeah, we've made a really nice start. Couple of cities on day one. Going pretty well. Looks like we'll be able to take Saudi. Decent chunk of the Middle East pretty quickly, so yeah.
Yeah. I've just land grabbed one of Syria's last tiles that was here. And
that's good.
Them back in, and then just 2 more to go. Just about to get that one, and then 1 more to go, and then he's gone. Very nice teamwork, Tim.
Yeah.
And the plane is really useful. Have you found that patrolling the plane doesn't really do anything? You have to directly attack.
Yeah, I found that.
And is that the same with strike fighters, or is it just the air superiority fighter?
I've always found the mechanics of the planes to be a little bit inconsistent. Sometimes when you're patrolling, they don't necessarily do what they're supposed to do. I think it's quite precise, like with stuff coming in range. I think it's quite a small range that they actually attack within while they are patrolling.
Yeah.
Automatically.
Okay. And generally, I'm pretty sure that strike fighters will automatically attack ground units if it's in their area. But if they won't attack air units, and it's vice versa with the air superiority. So if you want to defend an area with them, you should have like one of each in a stack at least.
Okay, that sounds fair enough. Well, this is our view of the world, and hopefully it will expand very nicely. I'm just showing the most zoomed out shot of our territory, and it's a bit of a shame actually, because in the previous series, there's another series on my channel, by the way, check it out, it's really nice, in the main vanilla game, but we had different colours, didn't we? But I don't know what colours you're seeing, but I'm kind of like a dark grey or a dark sandy colour, and you two are like a light sandy colour.
Yeah, we're actually pretty much the same, aren't we? Me and Egypt.
Yeah.
Maybe
Get
I'm slightly
confusing.
more orange. I'm not sure.
That will get confusing because we had very different colours, didn't we? I was like blue, and so
Yeah, I was red and Tim was yellow.
Yeah.
so there it is. And
Never mind.
if you go off political view and onto normal view, yeah, it's just as bad. I'm bright green, and then you guys are kind of like a yellowy colour, dark sandy yellowy colour. So probably keep it on political. And there it is. Any last thoughts?
Not from me right now.
Me neither. We'll just see how things go.
Okay,
Good
well,
start.
yeah, looking forward to the next episode. So we'll see you there, and it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Over and out.